All right, time to address Trump was an FBI informant, because I'm going to gouge my eyes out if I don't. And people are starting to ask me. So, and my sister sent me this video and said, I'm seeing this on my FYP. What is going on? So I'm going to show you the video, and then we'll talk some more.
Speaker Mike Johnson just revealed that Donald Trump has been an FBI informant since 2006 and been heavily involved in the taking down of Jeffrey Epstein, confirming what most of us have been saying all along and reassuring us that everything is on track.
Now, I have a strong eye roll game, but this shit is testing me. It's testing me. Okay, now I'm going to play for you an audio that I just heard. It's Trump talking to someone about whether or not he called the FBI. Okay.
Report comes out, and they didn't even say, they hardly even talked about it.
Should he have gone to the FBI when he got that email?
Okay, let's put yourself in a position. You're a congressman. Somebody comes up and says, hey, I have information on your opponent. Do you call the FBI? I don't think.
Coming from
I'll tell you
Russia,
what,
you do.
I've seen a lot of things over my life. I don't think in my whole life I've ever called the FBI. In my whole life. You don't call the FBI. You throw somebody out of your office, you do.
Okay, what do I say? I say Trump is the world's best con man. He's the best con man that ever was. Probably the best that will ever be, please. I hope so. Okay, so a few things. Besides him being the best con man, he also doesn't want to be seen as a rat. That man would never, could never. Like, because he thinks he wants to be like mafioso. He wants to be cool like that, and being a rat ain't cool. Not to these people. Okay, so I believe him when he says he would never call the FBI. He'd probably just have something happen to the people. Anyway, he also pays attention to QAnon. He always has. And that's how he gets himself into trouble. And that's how the Epstein stuff got him into trouble, is because he listens to fucking QAnon. And we know because, well, we know many ways, but also remember when he posted recently that Biden was a robot or a clone or something? That's QAnon stuff. And so I think that he probably told Mike Johnson. Now, he either said it like, look, I'm in the files, or because I was the informant. Like, I could see him now looking at that and trying to convince himself that he was an informant, because narcissists are delusional that way. They will try and convince themselves of something to make something feel true. He also could have said, look, I see this going on. Let's go with this story. I accidentally dropped this, because that will tell the people that already believe it that it's true. And they will start a feeding frenzy on the internet, and it will go everywhere, because he knows how to manipulate the media. He knows how to get social media spun out on both sides. So when they refused to release the files, I was doing a constant deep dive on True Social and Twitter and stuff, and there was this small group of people saying, well, of course he'll be in the files. He was the FBI informant. He's always been dedicated to saving the children. He's always been dedicated to taking these rings down in the deep state. That's been his lifelong mission. That's why he's president. So of course he is, because he's the good guy, right? So I knew he would see that, and I just wondered if at some point he'd use it. But Mike Johnson did it. And at the same time, he doesn't want to be a rat, but he's a malignant narcissist. And his MO is to tell everything that he does. Like, oh, I got the jet. Oh, I got this. Because that makes him look transparent. Because people are always saying, oh, he's trying to hide things. And I'm like, no, but his MO is to do them in front of your face, because it makes you believe he's telling you the truth. Because then when we go to MAGA and we say, well, he did this, like, yeah, in front of everyone, so obviously he was telling the truth. Obviously it's not a lie, or he wouldn't have done it in front of us. That's the technique Schmittler used. Tell a lie over and over with confidence, do it in front of their faces, and they will believe you. That's what he does, and that's why he's so good at it. So I don't know. I don't think he could have held that in. Like, it's both. He doesn't want to be a rat, but also if he was, he wants to tell you he was Superman, right? Okay, so, and he didn't do either. Okay, so also when Mike Johnson said what he said that as soon as he found out what he was doing, he kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago. And then he said, and he was the FBI informant trying to bring it all down. Those two things do not go together. Because if you're an informant, you would never kick the person out, because they're your job. Your job is to be their second skin. And he was already friends with him. And yet he tells us all the time, like, oh yeah, we ended our friendship, we never spoke again. Like, and it did appear to be that they didn't really talk or hang out with each other. Well, then how was he also an informant? Because as someone who has done that work, at least how I do it, is I become family. I look at their insecurities. I look at the weaknesses, just as they do to everyone they're conning. I look at, alcoholic father, divorced. Is he close to his siblings? What are his addictions? Where's his pain? And then I become someone that he can finally trust, finally a real friend. And in some ways it feels shitty because they're people too. They just fucked up, right? They had a bad childhood. They got a bad brain, whatever it is. But at the end of the day, I can't let them steal $100 million from people because that's life ruining. So, you have to play this weird life full of what I consider white lies. Now, in my real life, if I lie, I want to throw up. I get horrible anxiety. So when people say, like, you're just hope core lady, you're coping, like, if I even think I make a prediction that's a little too strong, I will have horrible anxiety the rest of the day. So it's a very weird world to live in. And also, at the end, they get to go, oh, and here's who ratted you out. That girl, the one that was your bestie. So it kind of sucks. But at the end of the day, like, I can't let him or them do what they do. So, that's just the way it is. But it takes a certain kind of person. It takes nerves of steel. He would have had to have been wired. He would have been getting copies of everything. And back then, I guess he would have had to hand copy or have it printed out. Or I don't know, did they have flash drives or discs back then? And I know that someone would have been able to attest whether or not he did this. But like that group that believes him is never going to believe these guys. They're going to say that they're lying. And the problem is, he technically is in charge of the FBI. Of course, he wants Kash Patel, like the little weirdo in charge, so he can just manipulate all these people. So is Kash Patel going to come in and go, well, actually, I looked in the files and he was the informant. That would trash Kash Patel. Like, all of it's a hoax. It's all fake, but also I was in charge. Like, it's just such bullshit. And the thing is, because I'm someone who's done that work, and a lot of it, I'm sorry, this is just, I can't not say something. So when you see it,